it's like I got the cards back, right? And I'm expecting like I'm going to be a millionaire. I've got these Mars Attacks cards that like I'm like
Ooh.
the original from the '60s. Like I have, you understand? Like I have a whole book of them. So I'm thinking these Mars Attacks cards are going to get me like a ton of money, and so I grade two of them, and like I'm expecting like a nice grade two. I get twos and threes. I'm like, all
Out
right,
of what? Out of
out
5?
of 10, out of 10.
Ooh.
What are
So
you doing
it's
to
like
them?
nothing. It's just they're old. They're sitting in the thing. So you know. So yeah,
Well,
that's
speaking
oh
of being old and sitting, hello everyone. Welcome to Fandom Social. My name is
nice.
Paul. This is Alex. This is Daniel, who's on time, might I add.
Once.
Were you just like me and Alex both work from home, so traffic is light usually for us.
Yeah.
But Daniel has to drive about 45 minutes.
Something like that.
Counting
With
for traffic,
yeah. And without traffic, it'd be like a 15-minute drive.
It's so quick. Yeah,
Dude,
so
it
quick.
sucks. Yeah.
But the problem is that LA is full of all the people that the other states didn't want, and so
Agreed.
they can't drive.
So it's
Absolutely.
how far is this? How far is this again? That took you?
From Burbank to LA, I gotta say maybe 17 miles, something like that. And it takes me 45 to an hour. If traffic's bad, even worse.
Yeah, I'm 20 miles out of Manhattan, and let me tell you, if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to Manhattan. There are days. There was one day I left like right. I was like, all right, I'm leaving like right now. 3 hours. It took me 3 hours to get into Manhattan.
Oh,
Damn.
no.
Yeah.
So you mean, Alex, when I ask you to take me, Daniel, and Autumn eventually to the beautiful Olive Garden in the New York in what is it, Times Square, you won't be taking us?
I will be taking you, but I will be taking the train. I am not driving in and going, hey, I'll pick you up. And then because I drove into Manhattan yesterday, forgetting that like Manhattan is the worst place in the world. Well, both the best and worst place in the world, because once December hits and the tree is lit and Saks Fifth Avenue is lit up and everything is lit for Christmas, it is Christmas Armageddon. I did go there and have I actually had a wonderful time yesterday in the city. For someone who's such a Grinch that doesn't celebrate Christmas,
Yeah.
I went to FAO Schwartz. I started the top level, and I actually as I was finishing the top level, I was like, did I just complete this level? I defeated this level. And some woman giggled and she was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, but you have to get to the final boss, at checkout. I was like, damn. It was a nice time. So I was so in the Christmas spirit, unlike, last time with those terrible terrible movie.
FAO Schwartz used to sell me weed in high school, so I'm glad he's still still a businessman. Well, everyone, hello and welcome into Fandom Social. This is a pop culture news roundup. Let's go in and let's just bring some of these people up and say hi. Steve, hello. Laura,
Hello.
Fandom Social. That's me to me. Hey there, bud. We've got Tenchi. What's up? John Galgano. Also, John, I don't ever say this enough. Also, rocking that blue, brother. I love John's last name. I was talking about this with another one of my coworkers who's also Galgano. I love just like how full that last name is, like Galgano.
It sounds like an adjective. Galgano. It sounds like
we all doing the hand.
You have to do the hand. It sounds like, man, I had this pizza. It was Galgano. It's like
Galgano.
It's like Galgano.
Yeah.
This pizza.
See?
Yeah.
John, I wrote that down, John, so I didn't forget to tell you. I spend too much time in this general area. Hi, Lisa, Pierre, Amy, Laura, twice here. Okay, Laura, we get it. Look at
we get it.
And aloha, Pete. Well, everyone, welcome in. We're going to get into today's pop culture news, some of the things that, for some reason, we found to be the most important. We got about 4 news stories. I got a fun game for the guys and for all of you to play. A spider right here. I'm just going to leave it. And then we're going to maybe intro our next show. Alex, you didn't respond to me about if we should talk about what our next show is going to be. But you know what? We'll
Because-
fill out the vibes.
Just to
And
shout
see
out
what
to everybody here, not to shout out, just to explain to everybody something. I don't use Apple products, so Paul,
No.
except for, I find iPad to be the only and this not me plugging iPad. I find it to be the only tablet I can use. Like it's the only one I can use. I can function with. So they're all sending me messages on iChat, and I'm like, I have to they're like, you didn't get my message? I have to run into the other room and get my iPad. I'm not going to walk around with an iPad. So yeah, we could talk about it. But I don't know which one it
That's
is.
fair.
It's on the iPad. Yeah, put it in the private chat so I know what you're talking about.
Boy, that is a pot of boiling water that is slowly bubbling behind Alex's glasses there.
Yeah.
He was just ready to say that live.
I was so bad.
But we'll get to that in a moment. But everyone, again, like, comment, subscribe, and the notification bell. Feel free to say any of the most random shit that comes to your head. I used my one real early again this time. I can't help it because as much engagement as we can milk from the chats, the better, because that helps us. I'm sorry.
Actually, mime. Did you mime milk? Did you mime that?
I've been watching a lot of Hallmark movies, and there are a lot of farmers in those movies, and so you kind of just it comes, that shoveling. This one is cutting down Christmas trees. By proxy, I'm becoming blue collar.
Yeah, by proxy. I was gonna say.
in my cardigan.
Bring up John Galgano. See, he has a blue collar. He's all in blue.
He does have a blue collar. He also has a strong. I just love it, John. That might be my code name for like.
You know what? That blue shirt is very Galgano. It's the most Galgano
I
I've ever
like
seen.
that. Strong.
Yeah, it's an adjective
Just
for
handsome
strong.
as the Dickens. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's get into some of our news. We are about 7 minutes in already, and I feel like this is gonna be a full show today. So let's jump right in. And you know what? Our first story is one that is relevant to 1/3 of this show, but I think by the end of the segment, everyone. So, without further ado, I mean, unless you've been living under a rock, paying $1,900 for a studio with
Studio Rock
in New York,
Studio Rock.
You have seen this news. It is Taylor Swift is Time's Person of the Year.
Can I just say she joins Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Ayatollah Khomeini. She joins the greats. But I had to do that for the humor. But if you want to jump into the why people get chosen for Person of the Year.
Time's greatest hits is what Alex is calling that. So it is something interesting in a tradition that dates back to 1927. Time's Person of the Year is the annual designation for the person, group, or concept that most shaped headlines for good or ill. Previous selections have included Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Martin Luther King, German Chancellor Angela Merkel,
Ayatollah Khomeini,
Pope Francis, Ayatollah Khomeini, and Adolf Hitler. So yes, she's got a very interesting green jacket that she's wearing. Now, Daniel, did you already pull up some of the pictures? Let's look at some of the Time covers, and I want to ask some questions to prompt some conversation, because I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about this, as I feel Alex might and Daniel might be on the other side of the aisle here. So
you don't know, I might be on your side with this.
You don't know where I am.
Photos.
I love the first picture so much, by the way. It's my favorite one.
Like
this one here on the far left?
Closest here?
Well, most people read left to right, I assume. So I'm talking about the one that's closer to my curly hair right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We live in the West.
That is the only
left to right.
That is the only one I like.
Yeah.
The rest of them I think are weird, and I think they're kind of tacky. But
do you know that I just noticed that there's a cat?
Yeah, I
You
think
just
that's her
noticed the cat?
right?
Yeah, it's her cat, I think.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
So-
kind of wild. Not really doing it for me. Feels like it's real sterile. I don't know, boring.
What, the picture?
The photos, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's Taylor Swift. I don't know. I feel like her hair doesn't look great. The cat throws me off. but it's kitschy. I
Yeah.
wish I had saved the photo. There are some Swifties who are doing Swifty math, and they're saying these photos reveal the date of the new album or something.
Jesus Christ.
And so, you know, what are we deep diving here, Paul? When can we start just actually discussing it?
This is the broad question for everyone, and let's
No
start
need for
with
sexist language.
Daniel. Oh, funny, real
Not
good. You're real on top of it today, Aronowitz.
Canceled.
You're being a real anti Galgano.
I know. That wasn't very Galgano.
You're being a dick.
Yeah.
So, talking about Taylor Swift winning Times Person of the Year, I can say I think she deserved it based on their description for why people have won. They've most impacted the headlines, majoritively for good. I can't think of any reason that she has dominated the headlines for ill, other than the like stress and the chaos that she put people in through trying to get her tickets, like people selling and taking second mortgages on their home. Like that's a bit much. Never seems like something she addressed, but also it's not something that is really her problem. Like she's not in control of what her tickets cost. I just feel she could have addressed it more. So the overall question is, not only does she deserve it, but does this help or hurt her brand going forward?
Who's taking it first?
I'll take it first. I think it helps for sure because there is no such thing as bad publicity. You know, it's just it further gets her name out there. But at the same time, it's like, now what? You know, where does she go from here? What left is there to do?
Yeah, I think that one of the questions I put in the notes, I'm like, is this the top of the mountain for her? I mean, I think it's without doubt, right? Like, I mean, we see this every year. Every year there is a person that is a Taylor Swift. She just happens to be it to the nth degree. I think the regression is coming. I think you know, the issue is all of her success within her fans, that's not going anywhere. Like there are still K-pop fans who are selling out stadiums, but it's within an echo chamber of all of the same. So it's all, you know, and as long as she's not making new music, which I don't think she is, right? She's just kind of reheating and reserving.
I mean, she's made new music, but she is also still re-recording a bunch of her stuff, right?
Which, do you want to read this from Steve?
As I've said before, she is a skillful business person, entrepreneur, so I can respect that, but I'm not a fan of her music. Which, again, so me chiming in now, I think she deserves it because more than anything else, I mean, there are things happening in the world that are dominating the headlines now, but she still doesn't leave them. She still doesn't leave the headlines for the entire year. Because remember, it's Person of the Year. It's not Person of the Year, of Millennium, whatever. Person of the Year. So from January 1st until now, she has dominated headlines for good or for ill, like you said. You know, do I think that this is the end for her? I don't think this is the top. I think she can go a little further before.
Okay, let's play a game then. What is the top of the mountain for Taylor Swift, if not this?
That's the thing. It's like how much. No, not president, but if she can utilize her power to make an insanely positive change, that could shake things so hard. Because politicians, I was reading the article, politicians all like political figures all over the world like beg her to come to their countries. Like, you know, politicians are afraid of her fan base, like in this country. The thing with the Ticketmaster, so you read the thing about the Ticketmaster, which they cover in it, right? A little bit, where like Ticketmaster was like brought before Congress. Okay, cool story, bro. Like I'm sure you do. But, you know, she could use her power to be like, you know what? Let's break up this Ticketmaster monopoly. Ticketmaster and Live Nation, like they're two different companies. She could use her power to destroy that monopoly. You know, she could, you know, whatever she wants. If her next move is to use this power of her fan, which scares the crap out of me. I don't like anything. I do not like cult of personality. Okay, there's
Mhm.
there's a long history. Going through our whole list of people on the Time magazine covers who are all cult of
Yeah.
personality.
Rewind the show a little bit. Yeah.
Rewrite the show a little bit. We'll give you a list of people who destroyed masses of lives with their cult of personality. But if she can take that and use it for something that's like insanely impactful, I think that's her pinnacle. Where she's like, I used my voice and my influence to like, whoa, look at this and look at this change that I made in the world,
Mhm.
which is possible. And by the way, I just want to say, shout out to my niece Naomi, who's been a Swiftie for like well over 12 years in my memory. She's only 24, and since she was a little kid, she's been a Swiftie.
She's an
Maybe
OG.
10 years. Maybe 10 years.
She's
She's been obsessed with.
She's an elder Swiftie. I've learned this.
She's an elder Swiftie.
I as much as she does great, like it's more the same, Alex. It's like the cult of personality. I never will, argue that she isn't the person of the year, hands down. Like you said, she's touched every corner of pop culture, media, fandom, everywhere. You can't escape it. Where I've always just been hesitant about her is are people saying like she's the end all be all for her music, and I'm like, she's not. Like, you've heard her sing, play guitar. Like, she's not particularly great at either one of those. Well, she's great, but she's not like, Stevie Nicks, where Stevie Nicks had such a unique voice and had such a unique way of storytelling that had led, A to B, just as an example. Or Adele, right? Like Adele's got this voice, and that is her talent. Taylor Swift's talent is her marketing ability and her image, and I think Tenchi had said here her brand. It is become here. I'll bring up his comment. Her brand has become basically immune to ill effect now. She's become a legit billionaire. True. She single-handedly injected $5 billion into the U.S. economy. True. It kept movie theaters alive. That's not true, but it is interesting.
She made AMC specifically. AMC made them specifically like. I wish I owned that AMC Bro stock before when she went.
She generated revenue, and she generated revenue for theaters in a time that is traditionally a lapsed quarter for where they are expected to lose money, and they will reinject money into Q4, but that all plays into the strikes and other elements of it. But like, she did help. I mean, I wouldn't say she saved them, but she did make them a lot of freaking money. That's for sure.
Right. Not all theaters. Mostly just AMC's, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, they were legal, but I think AMC just made all the money.
Laura says her influence on getting people to vote register has been pretty impactful, and it's upset conservatives for sure, 100%. Like that is, I think, Alex, what you're talking about, right? Like if she can use her voice for that specifically, which she may or may not do already. I don't have any insight into that, but clearly she does. She can use her powers for good or evil, like a true mutant. Amy reaffirming 25,000 people. Damn, that's a lot of people. And then John Galgano says, it seems like she's already started doing that. She's gotten a lot of her fans to register to vote and take political action. The question is, what will she do with it next? What if she just...
That's what I'm saying. Again, and that's what I'm saying. And it's not like, and she's not the only one. It's just that she's the one who's like dominating right now. You know what I mean? Like Beyonce with her Renaissance tour, right? Like it was a big deal, but she was not the dominating force this year. It was still Taylor Swift, where Beyonce, as big and huge, she had her. And by the way, I'm upset she didn't get her Time Person of the Year, but she had her big year like a few years back, and she's maybe due for another one. Who knows? We'll see what 2025 brings, but yeah, she 100% dominated, and it's because of her record sales, the obsessive fandom, and all the ways that the obsessive fandom like affected everything else. But I did see a funny meme recently, and it was Florence Pugh in Midsommar crying, and it was like Swifties realizing that like this like rich white billionaire is really not like. You know what I mean? It's not like she's not like the be all saving the world, until she is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows? Like I said, for good or for ill, I just want to see her use that influence in a really good way. And remember,
Yeah,
and
you're
listen,
throwing
I
that
don't
weight
hate all
around.
her music. I like some of her music.
Yeah,
I
it's
will
fine.
put it on. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
some of it's really
That's
good.
fine.
Some of it's fun. You know.
So last question around this up because we have three
Okay.
other things. We got a game, we got news to talk, other recommendations. So other nominees for this year: Xi Jinping, Sam Altman of
OpenAI.
OpenAI. Thank you. Barbie, Vladimir Putin, and the Hollywood Strikers were all up against Taylor Swift, and they did not win. So, is there anyone on that list that I just mentioned that deserves it more?
I just want to see Vladimir Putin picking up the thing and just go, we're just like, oh, grumpy. No more Taylor Swift in Russia.
What if it was a tie and they both had to like do the pictures together? That's what I would want to see.
Can you imagine that photo
This
shoot?
grumpy face. Again, Amy Scott.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with are they good people or are they bad people. It's how much they impacted the world for good or for ill during the year. And now
Vladimir Putin's gonna put it on his. He's gonna do one. He's gonna like, she is cat, I do cat, and it's just a bigger cat
with a bigger cat. He's got no shirt on, riding the horse
she
as
does
usual.
Cat, I
Yeah.
do wolf.
Yeah, they're gonna put out a new magazine. He's gonna start a magazine. Yeah, bring it back up. He's gonna start his own Time magazine.
Doing this.
Yeah, he's gonna start his own magazine in Russia, and it's just gonna be him on the cover, and he's gonna be like, "Yes, this is me, person of year."
And he's wearing the same top that she's wearing in the middle one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But he's just like flexing. Oh goodness. Well, congratulations, Taylor. I know you're watching, so just know that we do love you. All right, moving on to the next one. This is a huge bit of news. It actually dominated, I think, it dominated, the headlines probably for this week. Grand Theft Auto 6 has a new trailer.
Is that 6? That's 6, right?
6.
That's
5 and 6.
You got it,
And I've
buddy.
got the promo art here.
There it is. Yeah.
Hell yes.
I'm so hyped even looking at this.
Even just the key art, I really love a lot. It reminds me of Rainbow Sherbet, which I love. One of my favorite ice creams.
Ooh, yeah, I can see
That is
that.
a pretty good ice cream.
So GTA 5. So this game is going to be released in 2025, probably Q2. That's when they've released most of their games. Q3, which is when they've released most of their games. Grand Theft Auto 5, which people are still playing today. They're still modding.
I haven't beaten it.
Alex hasn't beaten it. They're still releasing content for. Grand Theft Auto 5 was released September 17th, 2013.
Yeah.
Dude, 10
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago when Roar by Katy Perry and Insidious Chapter 2 were ruling our lives. That's what we were talking about at the time. That's how long ago it was.
Wait, was Insidious Chapter 2 like the big movie of 2013?
Of September.
Oh, I was like, of September 2013. I was like, huh. I would have said like that movie was a movie that was released that year. I was like, oh my god, dominating.
It was dominating the September. So, I mean, are you okay? I don't know, Daniel. You're probably maybe similar to me, but I think you have like a Switch, right? You play a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is this like a day one pre-order for anyone? Like when it goes up?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, for me at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love GTA.
GTA is unhinged, and and the funny thing is, like, I haven't beaten the game because I just get distracted because I'm just like, I'm playing the game. It actually happens to me in Cyberpunk 2 all the time when I play. I'm like, I'm playing the game. I'm driving. Well, I don't use roads because what the hell's road? Who cares? No one's pulling me over. And then I go and I accidentally run over a pedestrian. Well, then it's 6 straight hours of getting arrested.
Running from the cops.
Getting my revenge because I was arrested, like burning down the house, just like going nuts, and I'm taking it out on the neighborhood now for like 6 straight hours. It's the game is unhinged, and I'm bored. playing.
follows the cop car, follows them to where they park, and he just nukes the whole town where they live, burns the house.
I whip
follows
the
them to
cell
the
phone out,
school.
and I'm like, unlimited bullets or whatever the code is. I used to be like GTA 4, but unlimited bullet. That's just Molotov cocktails till my finger hurts from throwing them. But yeah, so I've never beaten it. So I just get so sidetracked.
There's just so much other stuff to do.
Yeah.
And
So
here's what I can't wait to see. Now, I'm not as frequent a visitor to Florida. I've been there 4 times in my whole life, but I've been to California
you're good.
a million times.
Okay.
And playing Grand Theft Auto 5, like it was so California, like the Pacific, like the Northwest, or the West. It was so that, and even where Trevor's from, in that terrible area. I've been to Bombay Beach. I've been to those neighborhoods where, like, the poor areas where Trevor were. Like, I've been there, and they captured it so well. So I'm wondering how people from Florida are going to say, like, "Wow, this represents us so well." Not as a people, because I mean, we know Florida. It's so Florida.
I mean, they have directly copied, memes and things that have gone viral and just GTA'd them. And some of those people are like, hey, you got to pay me for that, which I think is the most Florida thing, because a lot of those people have been arrested for those things that Grand Theft Auto is making fun of. The guy with the face tattoos is suing them already.
Yep.
Wow.
I love it. I'm obsessed. I actually played a lot of Vice City when I was younger. I think that came out in like 2008, whenever the hell that came out. I didn't play a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5. I maybe played 10, 15 hours, drove around. I got to Trevor. I got to the plane bank vault mission.
Annoying.
But it's just, I just wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friends. That's really what it came down to.
Yeah.
Did you play you guys both play online? Like, did you play the online version?
Yeah, I was no good at it.
I did a little bit.
I kept getting bullied.
Here's the thing, like, you got bullied.
Yeah, it's rough. If you get a lobby of people that are just vindictive and
You're
like,
nerd.
Yeah, you die, you respond somewhere, they'll come find you. No.
That is
I
so
want to
sad.
bully right now, and I'm in a cardigan.
Yeah. Oh my god, that is the saddest thing I've ever heard. What's funny is I liked it at first when it was like this lobby and it was just anarchy, but then they like started making like rules and like I was like, oh man, that just takes all the fun out of Grand Theft Auto, like all the rules. Like, I was just like walking and some dudes were like jumping into a helicopter to do a mission. I was like, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that, and I got
best
kicked
friends
out.
I've ever met in my life.
Yeah,
You're like, dude was in my wedding.
Yeah, but like, I got kicked out, of the lobby. I was like, oh man, I thought the game was all about anarchy. I don't even know what that means,
like
but I love it.
Play mode.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Surprise, Alex. Shut up.
No, you know who would have been Daniel's bully? Autumn.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
She would have bullied his ass. Yeah, right for the picking. I did read something interesting about this game and about why it's kind of taken so long. Apparently, according to Verge magazine, the Grand Theft Auto team had bought, the developers had bought some technology to make the game more realistic. Apparently, it was too realistic. The U.S. government had to step in, and board of psychology or something, and say, you have to tone it down. You can't use this engine. So they went back to their previous engine, redid it, and the question that had come up, I wrote it down. I don't remember off the top of my head. Is the nature of these games
Studios.
Right, Rockstar Studios, of course, is the nature of these games is to be free, carve out your own path, do your own thing, which usually leads to violence and baser instincts because people feel that they can express those things. And it's just a video game. But with what I had mentioned about, them having to, almost re-update or nerf the graphics because it was too realistic. Does Rockstar have an obligation to think of that experience while they're making the game? Or is it, sort of, free speech isn't the word, but in that cadence of...
It is free expression. It does fall under free expression, technically.
Right. Does it falling under free expression, allow Rockstar to just make the game that they want to make, and if people want to blow up strip clubs and kill people, like that's their prerogative, but they're just handing them, they're handing them the knife. They're not. They can create a sandwich, or they can blow up a strip club. So
it's a knife. Interesting. Well, yeah. That's the thing is,
yes.
do they have responsibility? I mean, honestly, I think they do. And this is a person who like I hate censorship, right? I hate censorship, but
when you're bullying Daniel,
yeah, well, boy, Daniel, man,
You should see the
I
DM.
do hate. Yeah, I still haven't screenshot, but thanks for blowing up my spot, Dwayne. Dwayne. But I think it's good for them to take responsibility. Like I don't think they should be forced to, because technically, like, hey, they're a businessman. They want to do the thing. They want to push the limits, whatever. But I think, like, yeah, they should. Like, do they have to legally? No, I don't think that they should be forced legally to do that. But when you think about the fact that parents, hey, all you parents out there, like you're all the worst. No, you're not all the worst, but that so many people just don't think. They're like, the kid's like, oh, I want Grand Theft Auto 6, and they just buy them. Like, so many times I was online and it was to buy a game, like to do a thing, and like there's a parent with their little kid. I'm like, why are you up buying Halo for this little kid? Where's the responsibility here? Maybe it's just where I am in New York, but like I'm sure it is like that everywhere. And for them to proactively take proactively taking responsibility, I think is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, go.
I agree. It's one of those things where it's like parents should be, monitoring kids, making sure they're not playing, Grand Theft Auto. Like, this is not a game for 7-year-olds. First Xbox game, nothing like that. But at the same time, it's like Grand Theft Auto has always been like this, ever since Vice City. It's been just full of chaos and mayhem and blowing up strip clubs, and I don't know. I feel like it's what much has changed, but the graphic quality, I feel like content-wise, it's always been this.
Right. And I feel like, a lot of, to both of your points, was saying, like, I think we're all sort of leaning into, it's this weird balance, like, where a 12-year-old who is playing this game, they are just as likely to do horrible things in Grand Theft Auto 6 as they are to pick up their phone, go on TikTok, and see horrible things. Like, there's
none of that is good.
Difference, really. And that's all real. And at least in this game, it's not real, but like, to the point of them, like, at what point are the graphics good enough? Like, when does the game change? What, like, I read this article, like, in preparation for this, about the ESRB, which is the sponsorship board for video games, and yeah, you guys know, that was their main concern. Which, like, as an old man, like, when I was 12 or 13, I'm like, shut up, old man. Now, like, sort of, thinking of it, my their perspective is interesting, because it's like, you were just promoting violence and including better graphics, where it's like, if this is your video game, it's fine. But then there's also a storyline and stuff. But, like, I mean, it's like Call of Duty, right? Like, a lot of people aren't playing Call of Duty for the story. I would make that general. I mean, as someone who works for Activision Blizzard, like, you kind of know, like, they play it for the multiplayer, they play it for the communal experience, and I think that's what Grand Theft Auto is going to be. But it was just an interesting conversation, that, like, why do they need it to be so hyper realistic?
Yes,
that's
and like they want to push, because as weird as it sounds, because we're talking about a AAA game, big blah, 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 millions of dollars, whatever. In the end, it's like art as well. It is also technically art. So who wants to stop pushing the envelope artistically and creatively, right? So that's why they want to make it more realistic. And I gotta say something. This is me, and like, please don't call. I'm in therapy. I promise. I'm unmedicated. Everyone's safe. But I will say this: every time a Grand Theft Auto game will come out, Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto, I would play the game for like 3. Like, it would be like, I'm like plugged in for like, and then I would just not play for months. But I'd be plugged in for like 12 hours, just playing it on my days off. Like, yeah. And then I would go to like work, and I'd be like in my work van, like when I was doing like cable stuff, and I'd be like driving my work van, and I'm like, I'm driving, and like, I know I got to make a right here, but there's like this empty field, and in my head, I'm almost turning to just cut across this empty field. You know what I mean? Like, because I had been so
those
plugged
intrusive
in.
thoughts.
Yeah, I was so plugged in, but like part of me actually thought it. I was like, da-da-da, and I make the right signal. And I look, and in my head, I'm almost like about to do it. So yeah, I think at some point, and this is as a person who's like hardcore anti-censorship, pro video games, love it all, whatever politics, whatever. I'm not going to bring up any names of who've made it harder, to make it. At the same time, I'm also like, yeah, there are people who just like play this game and they will play it for 40 hours, and I don't know if I trust them to be like around the real world after that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's it's an unhinged game, and I'm a hinged person who can get unhinged. You know what I mean? I am.
Yeah.
I
I
deplore
consider
real life
you more
violence.
like a revolving door.
Yeah, because like it's so funny, like for the amount of horror I watch and the amount of violent video games I play, and how violent and creatively violent I get in these games, to be all story. Real violence. If I see someone like break their leg, I'm like, ah! Like I don't like real life violence. I do not like real life violence. So if I was playing this game and it looked so realistic that the government got involved, that they're like, yo, this is too much, I don't want to see that game because I'll throw up.
Yeah. Yeah. Lisa says cognitive dissonance. Absolutely.
Yes.
Alexa says, when I see 9-year-olds playing COD, it is unsettling. And Tenchi says, it's that line of being told to put in guardrails by legal pressure against putting in guardrails out of their own ethical concerns. Knowing either way, people find a way to bust the guardrails. And
agreed.
They already did that. There's a guy, I have a friend who was like obsessed with COD. I mean, I'm sorry, with Grand Theft Auto 5, was still playing like all last year. And there was a guy who made an entire server on Grand Theft Auto that did essentially that, remove the guardrails. And this dude was making like $14 million a quarter, like just because people were paying like $15 a month to play in this server. So people are doing it and they're monetizing it. So, Rockstar Studios, who is making the game, is probably like, no, that's our money. So they're just going to continue to make it more and more unhinged and make those fields, Alex, just more and more tantalizing. They're going to get emptier.
If you could, I'm going to be like, it's like I could get across this faster if I just drove through that backyard fence and through the pool and through everything. Like that's what it's going to end up being like. Like forget the empty field. I'm going to be like, the above ground pool doesn't seem like that much of an obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
Not for this UPS man.
Yeah.
And then lastly, before we move on, Alexa says that's the conversation. Those who are predisposed to be violent tend to be encouraged to follow through with violent thoughts, as opposed to Alex, who is scared of his shadow.
Correct.
Pretty intimidating shadow.
Yeah, I mean, look at that thing.
All right. Well, let us know in the chats if you will be, pre-ordering day one Grand Theft Auto. I'll probably get it. I'll play with you, Alex.
Day one.
That sounds fun.
You know what? I want to play with I want to play with a lot of people online. I think I will do that, and like my friends online, rather than me get so sidetracked in the story where
you would be so frustrated because I would just be stopping at the lights. I'd be like making
using
hand
your
signals
blinker
to turn.
I watched this video. I watched this like this reel, and it was like I don't know what kind of mods it was, but like this dude was like actually being a cop. He was in a cop car, and someone sped by him, and he actually was like, "Whoa!" And you hear him on the marker, and he chased the guy down and pulled him over. I'm like, do people take this game that seriously? And then a baby jumps out of the car and shoots him with a machine gun. Very weird. But I'm like, do people actually do that? Yeah.
Oh well, that person.
I don't know if you guys know. There's whole role playing
servers.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
People use real money, dude. They put real money into it, and they like have a job, and they sell drugs. People have sold drugs through Grand Theft Auto. Like it's wild, and we don't have nearly enough time to cover all of it.
Okay. I'm learning new things about the game I played.
We have other stories, and one that is particular, I would say, to me and Alex, because we're big movie fans, and Daniel, has worked in film and is a big film guy as well. So, the indie distributor A24 has signed a new deal with HBO and Max to have what they are calling pay one exclusivity. So basically, Max is going to be the distribution home for all A24 films, I think starting in Q1. And they're going to start with some of their older films.
Streaming home.
Streaming home, yes. Thank you, Alex. They're streaming home for some of their older films. And then Max gets pay one exclusivity for newer films. Now, if you're not familiar, what pay one exclusivity means is it's called a pay one window, which is usually, I think, like 1 to 3 months of where a film lives after it's done in theaters. So that pay one window used to be 2 years, but now with streaming, it's become like 1 to 3 months. So that's why like some films go right to Netflix. You're like, where the hell is this streaming? Some films are like pay one day one, like we saw with Five Nights at Freddy's, where it released both. So there's a lot of deals now with streaming, but A24 has signed this deal with Max. I think an undisclosed amount. I couldn't find how much money, Alex. Could you or Daniel?
I looked.
Wow.
I looked for money. All I found was subscriber counts and stuff like that. I was looking for how much money.
Yeah. It so A24 is putting up their content at risk with sorry. I didn't write this note, so I did not prepare it in my head. I don't know who wrote the notes there, but so getting into some questions about this, it's interesting because A24 is predominantly the big, the big little indie studio, really. They have done all kinds of films. Again, if you're not familiar somehow at this point in your life with A24, they've done movies like The Lighthouse, which we covered on the show. You can go back and watch that episode right after you're done with this.
And leave a comment and like it and subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Boom.
Yeah.
Ex Machina, Lady Bird, Green Knight, Everything Everywhere All at Once, which won Best Picture, and Talk to Me, which someone on this show have a hand from that?
Yeah, I'm not going to go get it. It's across the room. I'm not going to get it. But I have a lot of stuff. Midsummer. I can't believe you left Midsummer. I literally have like 150 Midsummer things, and you left my favorite film off the list.
I left it off.
Listen, I do want to hear if people are A24 fans. I would love to hear like everyone's like number one.
Oh,
like my number one is clearly Midsummer. I don't know what your number one is.
What about you, Daniel?
I don't know if I have one. I'd have to go through the list because like every time I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that's an A24 movie. Midsummer was really good. But I feel like that's cop out. Everything Everywhere All at Once, also really good.
For some of us.
Everything Everywhere All at Once is my number 2, like easily.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'd probably say I've got a little bit of recency bias, but Ex Machina, I think I've watched that the most. It's just a movie that I really liked, that Alex Garland film.
Is that the one
really,
with Oscar
really
Isaac?
like that. It is, yeah, where he's kind of like the Zuckerberg type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was really good.
It's a really, really, really good movie. I love Ex Machina. And you see Alex Garland's got a new A24 film coming out? That should have been on our
does. That
just got announced.
That just got announced.
It was just happened. I'm stressed about
Moonlight, it would have to be in this order, probably Ex Machina, The Witch, and then Moonlight, probably for me. I felt like Moonlight was one of the films that got me really, really back into was one of the movies that got me really back into like experiencing film. As like obnoxious as that sound, I was like, whoa, this is so freaking good.
And it like gets in you. That movie like gets in all your emotions,
Yeah.
And it won an Oscar, right? It won, or is that the movie that's the one that lost to La La Land, but it won? Remember they read the wrong name?
Yeah,
no,
that was it.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah, so at the Oscars, I don't remember who it was, but one of the hosts or whoever was, giving out the award had said like, and the winner is Moonlight, and you could see like people like going like this, and they're like, oh no, that was like the runner up, and they read it wrong, and it ended up being, and I have it backwards.
They announced La La Land as the winner, right? But
Okay.
Moonlight was the actual correct winner. And like
Right,
all of the crew from like La La Land had already reached the stage, and they were like, no, wait, we got to do this right. They brought him up, and it was a whole debacle. But yeah, you could probably find it online. It was like the great
Yeah, you can
mistake
find
of
the
that year.
debacle online. The movies
I would like
everywhere, but Moonlight, The Witch,
the movie will be
Midsommar,
streaming on HBO Max.
yeah, those movies will be streaming on Max coming Q1 most likely. But like Dream Scenario, Past Lives, all those films will hit like the pay one. I think like Past Lives is already in the pay one window. That's a good example of something that's like just released. It's up for an Oscar. That'll be all over Max like once it's
Yeah.
there. But to prompt some conversation from this. Some have criticized A24 for being a bit of a hypocrite because they have now partnered themselves with arguably one of the most largely known companies ever. And, for them being the little Thomas the Tank Engine of movie studios, this isn't a very Thomas the Tank Engine move for them. So what do you think, Alex? I mean, you think
Okay,
they're...
as a person who is also like, corporate America, bro, down with the corporate. Like for someone, it's also like A24 is the little indie thing, but they're the biggest indie thing ever.
Yeah.
And it's not like they bowed to the mouse. If they tried to go to the mouse, I'd be like, okay, that's the biggest thing. But they were with Paramount. I mean, technically Showtime, but they were with Paramount. That's not a small company either.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you. So I dropped the article for us to to go over, and in the article they had said that they had partnered with them and they had something like 30, I think it's like just over 30 million subscribers, and that's globally. Where Max is now over like 90 after their merger with Discovery, and
They don't
it's
even
like
know. I read
why
the article.
wouldn't you?
I read the article and the numbers was like, oh, well, we don't know about this, but we know about this number. I was
Yeah.
like, what is the number? Give me the number. Give me the. But
It's hard to
Paramount is a huge company. They're not like some, Paramount Showtime is not some like indie darling. No, they're a huge company. They may not have as many subscribers as maybe Max does, but I mean, why? Yeah, why wouldn't you? The Showtime app is terrible.
It
I'm
is.
sorry.
It is so bad.
The Paramount app is terrible. They're both terrible apps. So give me a steady app that actually works. Do I wish that like A24 could be like 100% indie? Like you can get the A24 app and you could buy their movies and just watch it on that app if you want to be that indie about it. You don't have to go to HBO to watch it. But if they want massive viewership, if they want maximum viewership, they want everyone to see their movie. Excuse me, I keep calling it HBO. Max is honestly the way to go without making me want to pull my hair out because it's Disney.
So I want to bring up a comment by Tenchi because Tenchi, you've been on a roll today, bud. Because it does bring an interesting question and wall that I do disagree with. So he said that they didn't really have much of a choice as they were never going to be able to make their own streaming platform. So they were always going to have to team with someone for that. One, they already do. They already have an A24 app that like you can, like if you're a member, like obviously it's not successful, proving Tenchi's point because probably this is the first time people have heard about it, like in the show right now.
Also, you could only get it on an Apple product right now.
Well, it's you've got an iPad, don't you? That's
I
your
know.
iPad, You can watch
I
it when
use
we
it.
stick you with your iPad at Olive Garden while we're all having dinner.
Yeah, that's fun.
So what I don't agree with is I think they did have a lot of choice. They're not hurting for money, anymore. They're valued at over $3 billion now, where they were almost bankrupt when they were valued at like
Little
like
baby,
400 million.
little baby
company.
studio.
But with them, a lot of their money does go to creative, which is very unlikely, and almost 0%. I don't know this fact. I'm throwing it out there, but this is just conjecture. But like, I would assume less than 5% of their budget and their marketing would go to actual distribution because they don't. They shop their movies around, and they've been doing it since forever. Since The Lobster, since they've been doing that, where they package their movies, they sell them to different studios, and that's what was hurting them. So I think they had a lot of choice. I think they are the Taylor Swift of the the independent companies right now because everyone wants a piece of what they're doing. And so I think Max was just the highest bidder. I think they have probably somewhere the most room for growth. I do think it was interesting that they didn't partner with Netflix because a lot of their movies got really big after them being on Netflix.
Right.
Ex Machina being one of them. And so it is an interesting avenue, but I do think it's smart because now, whether their movie sucks or it's good, because A24 does have a lot of duds. They're not all great.
So many. They're not all great.
You know, Max has to put it on their platform and pay them for it. So I think it's a win.
I think it's a win for everybody.
Mhm.
To be honest, the more people that can see, and like, God, it's such a funny, like, I think I sent you that meme where it's like, it is
I
we
do
all agree.
I hate it.
Everyone agrees.
I hate it.
Everyone agrees. But I sent you that meme where it was like a guy who's like a young dumb kid. He watches Joe Dirt, and then all of a sudden he's a super A24 hipster, and then he eventually leads back to just watching Joe Dirt again.
Joe Dirt.
You know that Joe, like that's the peak. That's like the arc of a film connoisseur. But you know, I want more people to watch A24 films because so many of their films I love. But there are so many duds.
Yeah, they have a lot of duds.
By the way, they've been around 10 years this year, right? This is their 10th anniversary.
Yeah, about 10 years of being a proper company. And I love that, you know, they're like, what does A24 mean? And the guy who had started A24 was like, I don't know. It's the name of a freeway in Switzerland, and I thought it was cool.
By the way, for anyone who cares, that's exactly how I named my band got named back in the 90s. You know, we saw a Freon canister and it said R22 on it, and we're like, "Well, that sounds like a cool band name," and that was it.
Because we're free on, you know, life, man.
No, no, because it's such a cold world, bro. It's so cold. The refrigeration, man. Okay,
Put Alex
let's go
band back in Fireball. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Freon used to, okay, thank you. I was like, I forgot Alex doesn't drink, so I was like, maybe he didn't, but Fireball whiskey used to have Freon in it.
Yes, I've heard of this.
All right, our last bit of news, which we'll go through because we have a kind of a couple other things. So just for everyone, so they know, we're probably going to go about 10 minutes over. So don't leave, stay here. Anyways, Guy Fieri signs a new $100 million multi-year deal with Food Network. One, I didn't know Food Network had $100 million.
Yeah, where are they getting this $100 million from?
Like, that's what I'm saying. I love it. I love their I love everything Guy Fieri does. I think Alex, is that your note there? And if it is, you can read it.
No, but I'll read it anyways.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the one is that Guy Fieri has gone from Food Network star winner to Food Network stardom. I did not write that. That's winning in 2006. He's become synonymous with Food Network and really ushered in a new era for Food Network. 16 shows and specials, owns a vineyard, raised $20 million for unemployed food service workers during the COVID pandemic, signed in 2021, signed an $80 million contract. So he's going up. His value is going up. And I constantly get texts from Flavortown, like every time there's a sale or a holiday, like, oh, you want to get the Christmas hat. So I can't wait to get my new, you know, Flavortown Christmas hat. You know, like I can't wait.
Is that just like the merch company or?
Yeah. It's like, sign up for their SMS notifications.
And it comes in the first person as if Guy's sending it to you. You know, like, welcome to Flavortown. I love it. And I did buy one of the shirts. That an artist that I love, like, got commissioned by him to do it. Quinn, her name's Quinn Dean, and she's this amazing artist, and she got commissioned to do it. And I was like, yes,
that's cool.
Sweet.
Oh, that's
and I named when Animal Crossing first came out, I named my island Flavortown. So we had a Guy Fieri flag.
Goodness. Jesus.
Anyways.
Okay, Dan, what's your relationship with Guy Fieri?
Pretty passive. I love Guy Fieri. I don't watch as much Food Network as I used to. Our grandma used to have it on like all day, and he was always on. So it's just like a voice. It's a face I'm really like familiar with. You know, it's very almost parasocial, where I'm like, oh yeah, that's Uncle Guy or something.
What about Real Housewives of Flavortown?
Oh
Yo.
my God!
Could we
Now
get you
we're
back,
talking.
Daniel? Could we get you just put in your
Oh.
veins?
Absolutely. That
10
I
out
would
of
like.
10.
I'd show up at the premiere. I'd try and bug him for an autograph.
I mean, that's such a good idea, Paul. I can't even. Can you imagine? And it's just because that could be like the name of a cooking show, like that he hosts. You know, like the Real Housewives of Flavortown. Paul,
Mhm.
you're going places, kid.
I should get into marketing and production. No, we need to go buy that IP right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, let's go by right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Daniel in his blurb that he put, which in the way Alex is reading it, I get why you were bullied. So it does put a good point. Like he has really gone. Like I hate to use this term, but like rags to riches. Like he really has. Like I don't know much about his like past and if he comes from money or anything, but he seems to be a pretty blue collar guy because a lot of what he does, he's always done stuff for people like the military, first responders. That seems to be a big part of his brand. Talk about an infallible brand. Guy Fieri has weathered storms in 2023. Let me tell you. I mean, it has not been calm on the beaches of Flavortown, and he's been fine. Like I was telling Alex, like, well, I'll have to tone down what I had said, but he would have to do something much, much more horrible than hanging out and having a drink with an ex-president for me to like not watch his show because the Food Network still gave him $100 million after that.
$100 million. You know, and good for him. Good
Seriously,
for him.
good for him.
You
Good
know
for
what I mean?
Hunter, who just got married.
Yeah.
I follow his son on Instagram. That's all
you
my
really?
Instagram is. My Instagram is food, it's movies, and it's like cringe talks, which I don't have a TikTok, but I have an Instagram. And so I get like cringe videos where people are like, there's two wolves inside me, then they put the Snapchat wolf filter on them. I love it. I eat it up. And lately
I'll
been
send you some. I forgot. I didn't real. I always sent you dog stuff, but now that I know you like cringe stuff, I get some awful stuff. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But yeah, Guy Fieri.
Yeah, but also Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I will say to this day, it is the perfect show.
Yeah, hands down.
What?
Are we on?
Yes,
lost you guys
Daniel,
for a sec.
we're live.
Oh.
Tighten up,
everybody
Daniel.
froze. Apologies. Tighten up.
Jesus.
Goodbye. No, he just leaves. Well,
Yeah.
I
Bring
there were
yourself back
times
on, Daniel, when you're ready.
there were times when I would like plan a trip based around like a diners, drive-ins, and dives map. Like you could go and you can get a list, and you could like
that's
I'm going,
great.
and you're like I'm going to this city. Like I'm going to try these things that was on diners, drive-ins, and dives. Like it's. I mean, I know that's the purpose of the show, but I haven't done it in a while. But at the time, that's what we would do. We would go online, look at lists based in the state, and you're like, let's build a trip around the food. So
that was really fun.
It literally sounds like a dream.
yeah, and I'm literally dying of being overweight right now. So thank God. I love him.
Don't thank God. Thank Guy.
Thank God. Yes.
Well, I was so close. I was almost ready to come off this, but I was thinking, have any of you ever eaten at any of his like establishments?
Like his own ones? No.
I don't think I've ever eaten one he's owned. Let me think. That which is funny because like I will eat at things that he recommends, but I don't think I've ever eaten at one of his things.
What about everyone in the chats? Have you ever eaten at them? Like, what is your opinion of them? The only one Steve has. Steve, where did you eat? I've only ever eaten at Chicken Guy, which is his like fast food chicken sandwich and chicken strip restaurant, and it was fine. But like, if you look, it's interesting. Talk about an infallible brand. His restaurants close all the time because they're just not that good. Like
all the time.
He doesn't like he makes like good food, but he makes food like trash can nachos. Like
right.
I'm looking at that right now.
Not gonna hate.
I'm literally looking at that right now.
Oh, Jin says they went to Johnny Garlic's back when he owned it. How did you like it? I know that one got closed down because he had stuff called like donkey sauce, which I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't care how kitsch it is. I'm not eating anything called donkey sauce. My tummy is too sensitive.
Yeah, like
no,
where can I eat it, guys?
Live.
Is there one in New York? I'll go right now.
I know you don't tempt them.
You know what? I'm gonna see if Guy Klender is still in Manhattan tomorrow. I'm gonna go meet up with Guy Klender and go eat at Guy Fieri's.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, Guy.
We'll need a whole
Guy with Guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Flavortown in Newark. I'm not going to Newark. Get out of here. Sorry.
No. People in Newark don't want to be in Newark. Okay, so I do have a game for you guys. I did want to play with you. It's pretty lame.
Okay.
But it's the only way I know how, baby.
On brand.
So, as everyone knows, I, full stop, unironically, like Hallmark movies. I just like them. So, what I did is I found some of the most like lowest rate. I found some of the lowest rated Hallmark movies, and I have their description. And then I also asked Sam Altman's ChatGPT, OpenAI, to write me some in the same vein. And what you guys have to do is guess if it's a real movie or a fake movie based on the description.
Okay. Easy.
Okay?
So you asked it to write a blurb. You didn't ask it to write the script.
No, not the whole script. Just like the movie description. I wrote like a lot of it, and then I was like, can you make this more Hallmark?
Okay. Let's hear it.
So you guys have to guess whether or not it's real.
Okay.
All right. First one. Santa Jr. tells us the story of Santa Claus's son, Kris Kringle Jr. In the movie, Claus Jr., Kringle gets arrested for trespassing and is accused of trying to steal Christmas gifts while he was simply delivering presents. He then tries to clear his name with the help of a court-appointed attorney that he soon falls in love with and learns to embrace his family's lineage. Real movie or fake movie?
Real movie.
I'm going to go
Sounds
fake
so
movie.
terrible.
Real? Fake?
Mm-hmm.
This was a real movie. Aired back in November 30th, 2002. Director was Kevin Conner. It had Nick Stabile and Judd Nelson.
Really?
Judd Nelson was in it. Yeah. Real but not recent. Yes. That's an old one. I think some of these are like so popular that they're bad, but I'm trying to get around that. Okay, the next one was a movie called Eternal Frost Embrace. In the haunting town of Evergloom, event planner Holly Winters reluctantly takes charge of a failing winter enchantment festival. Little does she know, the fate of the festival hangs in the balance. Enter Nick Frost, a mysterious stranger with the uncanny ability to conjure magic and love. As Holly and Nick work together to save the festival, strange occurrences unfold, revealing a hidden connection between Nick and the town's past. Amidst the frosty air, an unexpected love story begins to blossom between them.
Wow.
I'm going to go real. I don't know. That sounds awful, but it sounds like maybe just
I want to throw up. Is it real? I'm going to guess it's real. Man, but that's some stuff right there. Is that real?
No,
it seems real.
It's fake. It's fake.
Oh,
I don't know. That seems pretty real to me. After that, Kris Kringle Jr.
I know.
Yeah, I thought that was AI for sure.
I would watch all of these in a second.
Yeah, I know you would.
The next one is called Pine Vale Romance. In the picturesque town of Pine Vale, struggling Christmas tree farmer Jack Pine meets Lucy Thornton, a city girl seeking solace in the serene countryside. Together, they embark on a quest for the town's iconic tree, discovering love amidst snowy landscapes and the threat of commercial development. Can they save Pine Vale's traditions and find love can they find a love that's as enduring as the magic of Christmas? Real or fake?
No, that's real. It sounds like Virgin River. That sounds like the plot to Virgin River.
Daniel,
It's real.
I'm gonna go real.
it's fake.
Really?
Then
But
you
you know what it is?
then
It's
you
like
took
that sounds
Virgin
like
River's
every
plot.
other movie.
You just took Virgin River's plot, placed it in there, and wrote "Make It Christmassy." That's what you did. Because man,
I should have done that. I should have just taken like Goodfellas, make it Hallmark Christmas.
Oh my god!
Dude.
I kind of want to see what
Yeah,
that
Memento?
shits out now.
Hallmark Christmas.
yeah, my ex watched Virgin River, and like I was like, "Oh my god, this is the worst thing ever," and I feel like she would watch that movie. 10 out of 10.
I'm calling this now. The next game we are playing is I'm going to take popular movies and make them Hallmarky, and you have to guess what the original movie was. That's next week. That's our next game.
Next week.
Mm,
Okay.
that's a good one.
Okay, last one. Movie is called Boyfriend for Christmas. The movie begins with a girl named Holly wishing for a boyfriend for Christmas from Santa Claus. At only 13 years old, but 2 decades go by and she remains alone. Apparently, just waiting for the man of her dreams to be bound and gagged under a tree on December 25th. Well, 2 decades later, after her initial wish, a mysterious man shows up at her door on Christmas with a bow on his head. Real or fake?
That's real.
Hey,
That's real. And by the way, why is everyone's name Holly? I get it. It's Christmas.
I was
but,
thinking
oh my
that.
god, everyone's name. But that's real, man. That's real. That sounds real. It's so painful. It's got to be real. You see how much agony I'm in?
It's real. Originally airing on November 27th, Boyfriend for Christmas was directed by Kevin Connor. It stars Patrick Muldoon and Kelly Williams. Just
Oh,
wanted,
Pete's seen it.
making our Hall of Shame. Kevin Connor has directed 2 of the worst rated Hallmark movies ever. So I think he's doing the next Fast and Furious movie also. So
This is the one that gets me the most is Steve Nara. I actually like that one a lot.
aw,
Can we
it's
block
not
him?
as terrible
No,
as
I'm
it
just
sounds.
kidding.
They never are. Steve gets it.
It
I don't think they're
always.
as bad.
You're killing
You're
him.
killing them. Oh well. If you're like me, I've literally just had Hallmark movies playing. And like I have an LG, and so there's like I think all TVs have that like live TV built in, now. And Alex, you were just talking about how when your PlayStation goes into like idle, it just
Yeah.
defaults to the Hallmark channel. And I
Dude,
kind of love
that's
that.
right. Yeah, it's like I'll be sitting there. I'm like, all right, I'll put my game on pause, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I look up and I'm like, oh my god, there's like Santa Claus hats. What's happening? It's the Hallmark Christmas channel. Anyways,
Steve says 4 out of 4. I need to star in A Girlfriend for Christmas. There you go, Steve. Just
Yeah.
make your wish now.
Yeah.
Do you, Steve? Well, I love them, and I'll be watching them all month. All right. Well, as we do with all of our news shows, we'll get everyone out of here. I know we're a little over time, but we're going to tell you how to kill some time this weekend, because I'm sure if you're sick and tired of your dumb family, here's some stuff that's more entertaining than them. Alex, I know did you just see this one?
The Boy and the Heron.
Yeah, did you just see that?
I just saw The Boy and the Heron. I watched it like an early screening. No poster, by the way. How's that even like worth it? Like, oh my god. I did see it. It was very I want to watch it again because it was very and I was really tired, so like I did pass out like very early on because I was very tired, and then I woke up and I came back to life and I watched the rest of the movie. But it was very heavy. It was a very heavy movie.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's what I've
not
been seeing
like
in the reviews.
it's not like you watch Spirited Away, which is weird, but it's not heavy, or Howl's Moving Castle. It's weird. This was a very heavy film. I need to watch it again in order to fully get it.
Yeah,
because it was very heavy. But yeah,
yeah. Ironically, it's not. It's not.
I don't like Rush.
Where did you watch it? Did you watch it in like in the AMC?
Watching IMAX. Yeah, watching in Regal IMAX.
It's not playing out here by me. I mean, I've been really slipping on my movies lately. I haven't even seen Godzilla yet. I've lied to you, Alex.
I hate you,
Daniel. I know
much.
Daniel, you've added a few in these, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Go ahead. Why don't you read some of these off?
All right. The next one up is Doctor Who. They've been airing specials on Disney Plus. I think they just signed a new contract or something, but there's been two so far, two specials. They brought David Tennant back. It's a whole lot of fun. Very nostalgic.
Is he back as a regular?
Not just as an
he's
episode,
back
right?
for 3 specials. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I feel
But,
like
they brought back.
Not that it's. Sorry.
They brought back Donna Noble.
My favorite companion,
Okay.
hands down. Out of every companion, Donna Noble's my favorite.
Yeah, she's great.
Mm-hmm.
You, she just gets so bad. I just love it. You are not mating with me. I was like,
she's so good.
She is great. God,
I feel like it's like watching my mom, like having none of this like alien bullshit. Just like trying to shut it down.
Yeah,
So I love her.
Like, nope. But yeah, but it's on Disney Plus. Is that the new home of Doctor Who? Because
I believe so. I believe starting with these specials and then leading into the new Doctor, which I don't know if we're being introduced Saturday or maybe when the new season starts. But yeah, Disney Plus is going to be the new streaming home for Doctor Who.
Well, that sucks for me because I don't have Disney Plus, but they will probably reveal it at the end of the next special. I'm assuming, right? Because that's what they usually do. It's gonna hurt. Yeah, you get David for 3 episodes. Okay.
All right. Up next is Poor Things, starring Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo by Yuri Lanthos. I always get his name.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah, good luck.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Sounds like a spell. I think my
I know Daniel's gonna start floating.
Lanthimos.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
I want to see it.
Spell that like fills up your thermos whenever you need it.
I want to see it so bad, but
yeah,
I don't want to drive to Brooklyn to see it. I don't want to go into Manhattan to see it. I just want to see it locally, but it's not playing. Even though there are posters and giant cutouts and all the promotional material in my theater right here, it's not playing.
It's not playing?
Not playing. It's not.
Funny.
Is it too art house for them?
But they're promoting it in the middle of the theater as a giant Emma Stone cutout for Poor Things. But I got to go to Union Square or Lincoln Square.
It's making a really late run because we're really getting into the witching hour for Oscar season for a lot of these movies that they want to make the cutoff. I mean, you got a few weeks. It's really like the Yardless Lanthimos. You can tell he was like a procrastinator doing this because I'm like, man, he's really getting this movie under the wire. I think you need to have it in by the 3rd week of December for it to be eligible. It might even be sooner. But the movie's been released at Cannes. It's been released at the Toronto International Film Festival and the New York Film Festival, some of the bigger ones, of course. And it's got really interesting reviews. It is a film that I think is just going to further solidify. I think Emma Stone is probably one of the best actors of our generation.
I'm not gonna disparage that. I'm not gonna be like, no. She's really up there. She
has gotten she is on this like path that I think when I look at the career trajectory, I was like, Anne Hathaway should have had. Like Anne Hathaway has had this like incredible run of films, and then you're like, why are you doing this movie? Like, why are you doing Blip? Like, what are these weird ass movies you're doing? And Emma Stone has like really left behind the super bad
Serenity. Why are you doing Serenity?
Serenity. Oh God. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's talk. Hold on. I'm gonna rifle us through this, guys. I'm so sorry. Next is Leave the World Behind. This one I'm not familiar with. Daniel, did you put that one in?
I did. It's on Netflix. It's kind of like I don't want to say sci-fi, but it's very like end of the world kind of thing. This couple.
Oh, with Mahershala.
These two couples are like stuck in a home together, but lost the train of thought. But yeah, it does look pretty good. I definitely recommend everyone check out the trailer. It does kind of feel like a horror movie, like who are these people? You know, what do they have to do with this? And I don't know. It looks pretty good.
I saw the trailer. It looked pretty intense.
Interesting.
But
Oh,
yeah, that's going to
okay.
be on Netflix this weekend.
Okay, and then next is a Frasier reboot.
The season
That's-
finale.
Okay, so I didn't even know there was a reboot.
There was,
Yeah.
yeah.
None of
Damn,
the
this is
original
the
cast
finale.
came back except him.
Ooh, that's
He's
a red
back
flag.
in
Like,
Boston. I think he's back
That
in
is a red
Boston.
flag. Okay.
I think the Frasier reboot, he's back
Okay.
in Boston, and he's going back to
Hmm.
Cheers, probably.
Yeah, Dwayne Madison says leave the role behind sounds interesting. Jin says totally unrelated, but Daniel's outfit is tying together Paul's look with Alex's shirt. Oh yeah, we're like real close, Alex. Like I just like had you up
You
in
put
here
the
like
sweater
a
on
bunny,
me.
just holding you.
Mm,
It's a
mm.
cardigan, but and then lastly, Saturday Night Live. I think is this the last one of the year? Daniel,
I don't think
right?
so. I think
know
there's more.
they usually round out the year with some pretty big cast members. Saturday Night Live has got Adam Driver hosting and Olivia Rodrigo as the musical guest, which is going to be huge. And Adam Driver, it's going to be an interesting monologue because he's really been in the news lately, which is very. It's sort of the antithesis of Adam Driver's whole character that we've seen. Like he's not like a headline maker, even like he dodged. I mean, also helps with him being a straight white man, but he dodged all of the Star Wars hate, I think, a lot more than his co-stars. But he's making some headlines now, and we won't get into them, which what they are. Not that they're not controversial or that we can't talk about them. We just don't have the time to talk about a lot of those.
I'm just going to really quickly say, I'm going to get my curse in. I love that he was being interviewed. Someone asked him this ridiculous question that he didn't want to answer. He's like, fuck you. Yeah, he's like, fuck you. I don't know. That was his answer. The best response I've ever heard. That was a great interview. Anyways, continue. Okay, yes, Paul, do the thing.
So yes, that is how to kill time this weekend. Let us know how you guys are killing time this weekend. What are you watching, reading, listening to? Let us know. We wrote this script. I didn't even know about Leave the World Behind, which is frustrating because I kind of pride myself on knowing all the stuff that's out there. I had no idea. I've been so behind. I've been working a lot lately, so I'm gonna watch that. And I've been really enjoying Murder at the End of the World, which I think I talked about last week. That one's been a lot of fun. And I finally finished what's the Changeling, Alex. I was one episode behind.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And so our next show, which will be the 14th of December. I'm just gonna say it, Alex, because then we have to do the work.
Crap. Okay. So all I really want to do is in December do a lot of work. Okay, shoot, hit me with what I have to do.
So, me and Alex, under the folks over at Fandom Social have been great, and they've asked me and Alex to put on a show of stuff that we're doing anyways, and we're going to do our best to make it next week's episode, if not maybe the 21st. But Daniel won't be here because it'll be his 30th birthday on the 21st of December.
Oh my God, I'm so old.
Yeah. Thank you.
But yeah, me and Alex are going to be writing, scripting, and hosting our own movie show. We don't have a name quite yet. I'm not gonna throw the name out there, Alex, because we have not agreed to it. But it will be a show covering all things film. I think maybe Alex can attest to this too. And I want you to jump in, but we're really just going to focus on movies because I think a show that is based on TV is its own thing. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. It's its own monster because it's there's so many different aspects, to television versus film.
Yeah, and me and Alex have a couple of ideas of how we're going to be doing the show. The show will be its own brand under Fandom Social, and we will incorporate different types of content into that movie show. We're going to be talking older movies that we'll have you guys watch with us. We're going to be talking about the filmography of specific actors, directors, and how they directly tie to fandom. But everything that we're going to be talking about, everything on that film show will tie into fandom one way or another. And also, we have a really fun, gamified movie trailer show that we are really excited to do. But that one is not ready yet because that is so dorky.
We have to do a lot of work.
There's going to be costumes, is what we're saying.
What? Okay, we got to get sewing.
So yeah, we're definitely going to be doing something. We're going to be lightly, stemming it out this year. We'll do one show either next week or the following week, and we're just going to do what me and Alex do all the time: is talk about movies, maybe some older films, and talk about them in a way that relates to fandom in one way or another. But we also Fandom Social. It'll be us three. It'll be Autumn as well, and whoever we can trick to coming on here. But we're going to do an Oscar show, just sort of. So once I think, do you guys know when do the Fandom Social verse? Yes. When predominantly do like Oscar noms get
Oscar
mentioned?
announcements.
I think it's like January, right?
Like January, February. It's early in the year.
Yeah. So once that happens, we'll set a date for our Oscar show, and we hope that you guys will join us in watching all of the films. We'll only do a few categories, and then we'll do like an Oscar, like a fantasy Oscar show where we all pick the who we think will win director, actor, best. I think it's leading actors in a film, cinematography, director. Those those big categories. We'll all pick. We hope you'll all pick with us and watch where you can.
I have a homework assignment that we should put in the back of our heads, but I'm going to just say it live. I think that all of us should pick one obscure category and watch the nominees for that.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm gonna do
And pick it up.
I'm gonna do best film.
Yeah, very obscure. Very good job. Good job, Paul. Good job. Because there are like 100 other categories that get announced. The same thing with the Grammys. They get like announced like over there in like a building 6 blocks away, and like there's like 6 people there in like a bar. I want to do those categories too.
Okay.
So we'll have to figure that out. We'll discuss.
Okay. Best animated short film on a Delta flight.
Yeah.
How did Taylor Swift win that? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand. Person of the year.
But best gaffer.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good one. All right, everyone. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Lots to look forward to. Thank you for hanging out with us while we kind of just keep the train going, especially if any of you are working in anywhere corporate like we all do. Q4 is insanely busy. So but we do enjoy coming on here, hanging out with you guys and just chatting and really just lowering your IQ for just an hour. That's all we need is an hour to lower your IQ. So thank you for
20 minutes because our IQ is not that good either because we can't tell time.
Yeah, well, not a clock scientist. Alex, thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you to all of you for being here. We'll see you soon. And remember, if you run into a Holly, she's probably looking for her Christmas tree salesman. So don't hit her with your car like Alex would.
Fine. Yeah.
Bye, everyone.